told you people. First one's free. Then what I say? I said I will shut that shit down. No exceptions. Now, I don't know what kind of lying assholes you've been dealing with, but I'm a man of my word. First impressions are important. I need you to know me. So, back to it.
You know what time it is. It's time to get back to these Negan Lucille swings. Beating y'all over y'all head with this information. You've already seen the title. You know, Jim Crow laws. You know, a lot of you white people, you know what Jim Crow is. It's really the most popular form of legislation meant to hold black people back. I don't have to really express how detrimental Jim Crow was, how important it is to our argument. I'm trying not to get emotional about this one, because you know how true it is. All of you, you know how important it is. And if you're black and you watching this, I'm not talking to you. These videos of how white folks got so rich, me doing these videos are specifically for white people, because I'm no longer debating white people concerning how this country holds us black people back. We are being held back. Every avenue is closed for us. Every avenue. And you can't keep pointing to the exceptions to the rule as like those people speak for us and where we come from. Yes, a person can make it out of the ghetto, but what are those odds? A black person can make it out of the ghetto, but what are those odds? Many black people who make it out of the ghetto, their mind is Europeanized. So when they leave, they don't come back. They don't make businesses to help bring up their own. They make it and they continue to put money in your people's pockets. Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, the list is endless. You can't keep pointing to specific black people who don't speak for us and who do not represent us as a whole. Okay? So just getting right into it. The Jim Crow It actually came from a minstrel performer by the name of Thomas Daddy Rice. Thomas Daddy Rice was born in 1808, died in 1860. The Jim Crow laws themselves weren't implemented until 1877, and they lasted until the mid-1960s, supposedly, allegedly. The term Jim Crow is used to soften the reality of a truly vicious and widespread American system of reconstituted slavery laws, whose aim was not to keep blacks from using white drinking fountains and toilets, or even to stop them from breaking the law. The sole purpose of Jim Crow laws were to keep blacks from accumulating property. It was to stop them from starting businesses. Jim Crow was to stop blacks from engaging in trade and commerce. Jim Crow was meant to stop the establishment, or stop blacks from establishing an economic base independent from white people in America. Which is why Black Wall Street, Rosewood, places like that were destroyed, bombed, because whites were jealous of our workmanship. We couldn't no longer be competitors with them. But Jim Crow was also meant to force black people back on the plantations. Right after Abraham Lincoln had let's say he emancipated. And a lot of you who think that black people, I'm talking to you now, many of you black people who think emancipated means free, it does not. Emancipation just means separation. That's all it means. You are not free. You're now separated from your master. Some of you may say, well, that's the same thing. No, it's not. Because if you were free, I want you to hear this now. Emancipated separated you from the plantation. It said you didn't have to work on the plantation. You no longer had to be whipped, shackled, physical. It stopped the physical slavery. But right after Lincoln emancipated the slaves, the plantations, they pretty much they went downhill. And the plantation was the sole income of a lot of whites in the South. If you remember back in part 3, which is looking at page 20, it says a plantation family depended on the very labor of the blacks it enslaved for its total income, protection, and survival. That's very important. Okay, they don't need you blacks, us blacks. They don't want us blacks being free, because they don't know how to defend themselves. They don't know how to take care of themselves. They don't know how to do for themselves. Okay, they need us, not let's say they don't need us for I'll put it like this. What they do need us for is our biology. Our chemical makeup, our biological makeup, our anatomy, everything that has to do with our body, they need. And you will see this in some later videos. I'm not gonna really just expound on it in this part, but just know that they cannot live without us. They may be in gated communities. They may be in areas that we can't reach, but best believe they can damn sure reach us. If they need us, they can find us. Blacks were prohibited from buying or renting farmland except in designated all black but white controlled areas. And not just that, I wanted to back up to the sentences before this where it says that black people, it says that blacks could not be employed in any jobs other than plantation labor without a specific license granted by a judge or granted by a judge, and the employer had to be white. Okay. And if that black person was mistreated on his job and he was underpaid and he walked off because, you know, he knew that he was being mistreated and he knew that he was being underpaid, he would basically be sent to a prison environment. Okay. Where they had to listen to this. They could be arrested and put on public works projects, clearing forests, draining swamps, or building roads, bridges, railroads, or canals. Okay. Now listen to this. These Jim Crow laws legally re-enslaved the most productive people on earth, while eliminating them as economic competitors of whites. Pause this video, meditate on that. Rewind it, listen to it again, and meditate on it. Whites reaped incalculable amounts of incalculable financial benefits from these deeply rooted, typically American repressive racial restrictions. And this is a quote from Abraham Lincoln, and I'm going to end it here. This is in the book. As the Negro is to the white man, so is the crocodile to the Negro. And as the Negro may rightfully treat the crocodile as a beast or a reptile, so may the white man treat the Negro as a beast or a reptile.
What you do, man? I don't know. It seems like you're trying to speak, but you just took a hell of a hit. I just popped your skull so hard, your eyeball just popped out. And it is gross as shit. Maybe I'll find you. Oh, hell. I can see this is hard on you guys. I am sorry. I truly am. But I did say it. No exceptions.